Biggest problem in my generation, we do not know our purpose. So how do we find our purpose, and what should we do when we find our purpose? And this is exactly what this video is going to be about, because trust and believe, you do not want to be a 40-year-old person who just doesn't know their place in the world. That is the number one thing that you should figure out. And it is insanity that we go to schools just like the one I'm right next to, and they don't hone our skills. They don't hone our purpose, what we truly believe in. Right? They don't hone them. They just give you a subjects, a bunch of subjects: math, science, reading, history. Through these subjects, we're supposed to find our purpose. And even if we do find our purpose, how are we supposed to hone in on those God-gifted skills that they have given us? So that's basically what this whole video is about. I got some points down right here. Look what I wrote my points on. Just that, right? Real rudimentary, guys, real rudimentary. So the first one is list your obsessions and your pains. So I kind of want you guys to tap into a more low vibratory emotion when we're talking about our purpose. And why is that? Because in order to find out what you want to do, you also have to find out what you do not want to do. Trust and believe that, right? I've worked many jobs in my lifetime, and there's many jobs where I absolutely hated, but there's also many jobs that I actually liked quite a bit. I worked a sales job that I liked a bit, and that taught me that I like sales. But I also worked a job where I guess I worked at it was like a Goodwill job, and I was just sorting clothes all day and basically standing in the same place, not moving, not getting any exercise. And that taught me that I don't like standing in the same place as I walk right now, right? So what are your pains? What do you not want to do? And unfortunately, how our human brain thinks is we think in a very survival aspect of life. So I say that to say this: it's actually easier to find negative things that you don't like rather than positive things that you do like, and then find the opposite of that thing. So if you, like me, you don't like standing around. I can't work an office job. I literally can't, because I have narcolepsy and I'll just fall asleep. So I don't like sitting down for a long amount of time. That's also why I don't like editing. But I don't like sitting around for a long amount of time, right? So what's the opposite of that? The opposite of that is that I like walking. I like walking. I like moving. I like movement, right? So find your pain, and then find the opposite of that pain. It's very simple. Now, on top of that, you have to understand, what are your obsessions? So pains are very minor. They're very minuscule. They're very like little things that you don't really like, little things that annoy you. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it takes you off your path. For example, editing. I don't like editing. Like how I said, I don't like standing around or sitting down for a long amount of time. But that doesn't mean I can just give up YouTube completely just because I don't like the small thing of editing. So your obsessions can often overcloud that pain. So understand, what are you obsessed about? Now, whatever you're obsessed about, you also have to understand that there's multiple pundits within that obsession, right? So say you wanted to be a basketball player, but it didn't work out. It's very rare to be a basketball player. It's very rare to be any type of athlete. But let's say that was your first thing, didn't work out. You didn't get to become a basketball player. Where there are multiple other things, there's multiple other facets to life that you could try. You could try a completely different sport. I know my brother wanted to play in the NBA, but that didn't work out. So now he's a MMA fighter. Now he fights in MMA. So he's already an athletic guy. One of the things didn't work out, so let me jump to something else that I could probably be good at. Something that's not 100% in the same realm, but it's kind of in the same field, right? So if you I wouldn't say fail, I don't really like the negative connotation that comes with the word failure, but if one thing doesn't work out, then you can always try another thing in the same field, right? Let me think about something for me. When I was younger, I wanted to write books, right? I wanted to write books. I wanted to write comic books. That's just a creative pursuit, So what genre is your obsession even in, right? I think about it like that. What genre is your obsession even in? Because you could say this is kind of like a comic book. This is kind of like reading. This is kind of like the creativity in the media space. That's all the books are. That's all the YouTube videos are. So what are those, right? Now we sit down. So what are those? So what was I saying? So an action step for this one is just write down 5 things you're absolutely obsessed about, and maybe 10 things that are kind of painful to you, or 5 things that are painful to you. Just get a list down, right? Pros and cons. Then what things in those fields that you can do. This is why I like content creation so much, because with content creation, you can really do anything. If you are obsessed with rock climbing, you can make a rock climbing YouTube channel. If you're obsessed with like basketball, you can make a basketball YouTube channel. If you're obsessed with anything, you can create a YouTube channel out of that, or an Instagram page, or a Tumblr, or whatever form of media. And it's something you could just do on the fly. Like you could just, I'm gonna hit the gym in a minute, I can just record a video right out here real quick. You know what I'm saying? So something you can kind of just do whenever you want. So I honestly always recommend people to create a YouTube channel or create some sort of social media, because I believe that personal branding is probably gonna be the best way to make the most money. Oh, I think I got the front facing camera. Oh geez. Mainly because I believe that personal branding is going to be the best way to make the most amount of money, right? Be the best way to make the most amount of money while pursuing your purpose. A lot of people think that YouTube is like it's Mr. Beast, and it's Kai Cenat, and it's speed, and it's all these entertainment, dopamine. Whether you can make videos like these and they can pop off just as well. So as we go down to our next point is act immediately. So whatever you think about, just do it, man. Just do it, because you really have nothing to lose. A lot of people think of embarrassment. What would people think about me? Is this the right thing I'm gonna do? Let me tell you, man, nobody really cares about you as deeply as you think. I'm at a local park right now, and there's houses in front of me. There's houses over here. I actually used to live around here, but it doesn't matter, you guys. But and there's people, and I could be in my head and I could think oh, what do these people care about me? But nobody really does, or maybe it's a slight annoyance to them, but it's not as big of a deal that it will ever be that's in your mind, right? Perhaps your parents really want you to go to college, but you don't want to go to college, and you actually know your purpose, your obsession, but you want to appease your parents, right? You want to please your parents. I don't know your situation, and I wouldn't take my next couple words as gossip, but I would also say that you have to do things for you, because unfortunately, God forbid, right, your parents are going to probably die one day. Everybody you know is going to die one day, including you. So the best thing to do is spend time doing things that you enjoy responsibly, right? I don't mean just if you enjoy doing crack, just keep doing crack. No, probably not. If you enjoy doing certain drugs, just keep doing drugs. Obviously not. But if it benefits you, it benefits others, and you're getting compensation on top of that, then pursue that. You know what I'm saying? Don't appease others just because you want to appease others, because what this does is it delays action. There were so many times where I wanted to make a YouTube video, I I wanted to do this. I've been wanting to do this stuff since I was 16, right? So I'm 23 now, so that would have been what, like 6 years in the game. I hope my math is correct on that. Right, 6 years. 12, 22. I think like 7 years, something, 6 or 7 years. It would have been 6 or 7 years in the game, rather than 5 years when I had to wait till I got out of high school, wait till I was away from everybody, and then pursued what I wanted to pursue, right? Act immediately. If somebody is 10 years into real estate, they're probably going to beat the guy who's 3 years into real estate. They have the reps, they put the points on the board, and truly, nobody really cares about your failures. It's actually quite liberating. If you fail, nobody really is going to care as much as if you succeed. So if you pull up in, that new Ferrari or like that new car, people are gonna be like, whoa, that's amazing, versus when you failed your first deal, or your book didn't sell that great, or your music wasn't popping off yet, or your Twitch, your streaming channel was getting like 4 views. People don't care about your failures. No one cares. Like, nobody will ever care. But when you succeed, then everyone cares. I learned this from my physique. I learned this from my bodybuilding journey. When I was skinny, people were just making fun of me. Oh, you got the small wrist, which I still have. You can't build that much muscle around here. Sorry, but you got the small. You're small. You're tiny. Stuff like that that I heard. Not a lot, but just a little bit, right? And it really got to my head. I was like, okay, and I was getting made fun of for that. But over time, once I built the body, oh, you're here, you've arrived, and then everybody gives you praise. But nobody sees, when I was walking to the YMCA, when 135 pounds almost fucking killed me, right? Nobody sees the journey. Nobody really cares about the journey either. That's why the journey is so beautiful and so significant, because only you see the journey, only you care about the journey, only you know how hard was it to make that money, how hard was it to build that body, only you know that, which is why it's so significant. But when we're talking about the more materialistic, third-dimensional volumes and metrics of your own inner success, that's the only shit that people really care about. Is the car, is the money, is the, the showing of the thing. But if you fail 50 times, 120 times, no one's gonna care. No one's gonna even pay attention. So you might as well just act so you can reach that pinnacle, that mastery, and then flex it, right? if you want to flex it. The last one is cut fast and double down. So once you found your purpose, you're acting on your purpose. What works, what doesn't work? It's pretty simple. And I wish I knew this earlier on my YouTube journey. What works and what doesn't work. What I found that what works is making daily videos. I could have made like 2 videos a day. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to try to make more and more videos now. But like, just keep going and go harder, right? We live in a beautiful day and age where I believe that anybody can achieve make their purpose, passion, and full-time income. You definitely can. Many people have done it, and there's absolutely no reason that you cannot do it if you have a good Wi-Fi connection, if you have good internet connection, and if you just put yourself out there. And I'm not only talking about social media. You can go on Craigslist and you can say, hey, I'm a maintenance man, and I want to fix, and I can fix your walls. And my dad has a painting business where he goes to different houses and stuff, and he just paints, right? That has absolutely nothing to do with social media, but he's using the internet to reach more and more clients. So it's not just the internet, it's not just social media, it's not just social media. No, just using the internet, you can 100% make your passion a full-time income. So never forget that. And then what comes with that is just doubling down, making as much volume as possible. If you have the volume, then you have the knowledge, right? If I shoot 100 shots in a basketball hoop, maybe I'm pretty trash at basketball, unfortunately, but probably like 25% of those shots are gonna make, right? And then I'm gonna learn from not only the made shots, but I'm gonna learn from the missed shots. And then I'm gonna shoot again another 100 shots, and then probably like 27 of those shots are gonna make. So my point is, right, as you do more and more volume, you start to make more and more makes, but you also start to make more and more failures, which we already talked about. Nobody really cares about it. And that is going to teach you what to do next. That is going to be the best way to achieve your purpose as quickly as possible, is the volume. Cut out the fat, cut out the things that just don't work, but keep the muscle, right? Keep the things that work. All right, I'm gonna head out though. Kids playing. But hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Hope you guys have a beautiful, blessed, and highly vibrational day. See you in the next one.